What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy RC. We back again with part two. We sitting down one-on-one with Supermodel Miguel Perdomo, the real MP23. If you want to check out part one, it's on my page right now. I'm going to get right back into it. I'm going to invite him back into the room. We had a great conversation going, but you know, Instagram gives us that little time. It says time up. Let's cut him off. But we're going to invite him back in the room. We're going to get into it and square this way once again. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for just commenting and showing love in the comment box. It was much appreciated. So let me see where he is. And we're gonna finish off where we started. Start off where we finished, rather. Here we go. All right, we're back into it. Here we go. All right. Thanks for joining me back, brother.
Yeah, we back.
We back. I had to make sure. I said, no, I got to cut this off right now before you get into some really deep stuff, or break it down and Instagram be like chopping block.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were talking about when we left off at talking about the models, doing different shoots, stop doing the same shoots over and over again. Being versatile, and what you do as far as that's what helped with your longevity. You wasn't afraid to try different things. You said you really have to, as a model, you say you have the responsibility to know your craft and know what's going on. So it's more marketable.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing if you're an actor. You're pretty much in the gym. Like us models, we got to keep in tune with what's going on in fashion. Even though I'm not a runway guy, but I still need to know what's going on.
Right. So you do you prefer doing print over runway?
Hell yeah, all day.
And why? Why so?
Because runway is annoying as hell, man. Because it's like, even though it's only 15 minutes, which is great, but it's like me, I need to be on set because I've never been a runway model guy. Okay. Even though I've done like a million runways, I just didn't like them. That wasn't my thing. Because then you got people yelling at you and, come on, let's get this right. And then me, I used to like get exhausted with that. I'm like, this is bull.
It was like too much going on behind the scenes. He said, you know what?
Too much.
Shout out to Mo on the line. Monica, what's going on? I see you on the check-in over here.
The beautiful Mo.
So you said, no, put me on a print. Put me on an ad or something. And for some people, thinking that there's no money in runway. They say the real money is in the print.
There's money in runway for women, for men.
For women, but not for men.
Not for men. Women dominate the runway. Women dominate fashion. Period. Right. Everything's always up to a woman, no matter what, hands down. Right. Like for dudes in the runway, it's like, okay.
Wow.
You don't get excited. You ain't never gonna see like a Victoria's Secret for men. You never see that. You're always gonna see Victoria's Secret women, or because everybody get excited. The costume, like that type of show is amazing. Like you ain't never gonna see dudes in that type of show.
Wow. So with as a man coming up, like you say, females have so many different areas of fashion they can go into. It could be makeup, it could be hair models, they could be hand, feet, nail models. Like men, we have this like.
No, it's the same thing, man. I mean, I know a lot of hand models that do QVC. They do. It's like so many avenues now, so many different streams. Back then, it wasn't like that. Back then, it was only like woman, man. You a runway model or you a print model. That's it.
Right.
But they came out with lifestyle, and that's where I flourished at.
So when they came out with lifestyle, another door.
Like I took an appeal to everybody there because. They're like, oh, this kid could do ghetto. He could do ghetto shit. Then he could do nice suits. Like what? That's different type of versatile right there. We could use it for both, for workout and to do the suits. And I'm like, now we talk. When lifestyle.
He said, now you talking that talk. So it's like being a surfer. You was waiting for the next wave, and you found that wave, and you were able to hop on it and ride that out. With that.
But it took me a long time, man. I had a manager too. His name is Ernest Montgomery. He lives in DR now. And even we and him used to talk all the time. And he was the one that really propelled me. Like he produced like 4 shoots for me that was all lifestyle. And when I sent those to the agency, they was like, yo, now you good. Now you golden. Now this is the direction where we want to go. Like, all right, so bring your ass up here. And I went up to Ford and I signed with them again. But then I was freelancing. I wasn't like directly with them. And then they closed. It was funny. They closed the lifestyle division right when I got there. Literally,
Really?
4 months later, I was done. Then her name was Jessica. She was like, I'm going to Wilhelmina. If you want to come over, come through. But, we'll do the same thing. We'll test it out. If you like it, you can stay with us. If not, you can go to any other agency you want. I was like, all right. So I freelanced with them. And the first month I freelanced, I booked like 7 jobs. They was like, nah, we gotta keep this kid. Like, and then they signed me.
That was with Wilhelmina.
Yeah, and then I've been there ever since.
So you're currently with Wilhelmina, right?
Yeah,
there?
and I started the big and tall board there.
Wow, really?
They didn't have a big and tall division until I got there.
So they did not have a big and tall division until you got there.
Mm-hmm. When I got there, we did our first shoot for big and tall in 2008, and it was called the company was called Rochester Big and Tall, which is now DXL.
Wow. So you in the history books of the whole Wilhelmina franchise over there. I mean, agency over there. So a lot of people, when you hear models talk about, want to get signed with certain agencies, Wilhelmina is always one of the top names that you hear. So now you work with Ford, Wilhelmina, like, you in the thick of the industry. You in the eye of the storm.
I ain't gonna lie. When I got there, it was scary because I was so used to booking myself and negotiating my whole rates. And then I would tell them, like, this is my rate. And then they was looking at me like, and you're getting this on your own? I was like, yeah. They was like, you don't need this. I was like, at the time I was like, I kind of do because, like, I still need to reach out to these other clients that I don't have contacts on. You do. I don't.
Man, you're a chess player. I don't know if you like the game of chess, but you're definitely a chess player.
That's my favorite game.
You know how to move your pieces.
Yeah, so I was just explaining to them, like, I don't have all these contacts that you guys have, but I brought my own contacts there, and other model dudes were booking stuff with my clients. So it's kind of like I didn't get mad and nothing like that, but I'm like, you see what I did with y'all, right? It was kind of more like a partnership. Okay. It wasn't like they just signed me and I was like another guy. They was like, all right, we got to just partner up with this dude because this dude knows a lot of people, which was dope, And at the same time, I would go to a lot of the parties that they never go to.
Okay.
So, I always tell, like, I used to tell my agent, like, yo, listen, can you email this person? I got their card last night. They say they want to work with me, blah, blah, blah. She said, how the hell you got this card? I was like, I told you, I'm always in parties, and that's where I get all of my... You
hustling. You out there.
I'm like, I'm not
here.
You
out there have party. You out there working.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. Like, in the beginning, like, in my 20s, I was drinking all the time because it was like every party we went to was, like, open bar all night. So it's like you would just be hammered in these parties. But then I had to learn quickly, if I'm gonna be one of these drunks at these parties, I'm not gonna work, and then people are not gonna take me serious. I was like, so let me set myself aside from that shit, and then that's what I did. But it took me a while to learn that, because when you young, free Hennessy all night, I'm a dude from the block. Right. Hennessy, hell yeah! Like, I'm not like that because you get older, you get wiser. So now I'm like, I don't really care too much.
So that was like if you were related to simple terms where everybody can understand it. It was like your college years. Your freshman year in college, you really jack up and you party hard or whatever have you. Then you realize, what I can't do is affecting my grades, my GPA. Let me step my game up my sophomore year and try to recoup the time I lost.
That's one thing I do regret, man, not going to school. Like,
really?
It's not more of a regret because I think if I would have went to school, it would have never got me where I'm at now in my career. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I kind of do miss that, like, dorm life and all that. My little brother did all that. I ain't really get to do that. Mm-hmm. But I used to go see him every time he had break. I would go to Rutgers, Livingston, Cook College, and I would be at all the parties wilding out up there, because there's a from Patterson, he good, man. So I was out there doing my thing, but it kind of like he gave me more of a reason like to really come back to school and but then my career just took off, so I was like, yeah, forget it. Like,
he said, forget it. I'm over here now. It's like that game back in the day, the game of life. Either you go to school or you work.
And then at the same time, I always look at things mathematically. I'm like, all right, so if I go to school for 4 years, and I'm gonna end up paying what, 300,000 whatever for school. I was like, that's a house. I was like, nah, I'd rather go get the house. I don't really school. And then again, I'm grateful because I learned so much in the streets and these corporate offices. I learned a lot too from corporate heads. And I'm friends with a lot of, a lot of strong candidates, put it like that, strong CEOs. Like I'm a lot friends with a lot of these guys, but at the same time, I don't really push that envelope of like, let me go up there and and ask you questions. I don't do that. Like when you got time, we see each other, we'll talk. But I know guys to reach out to you like that and bother you because you got shit going on. I understand. I know the game.
Right. Look, Sassimone said Miguel went to the school with a hard knock. Like,
We already know.
So talk about, so now, like I said, once again, if people don't know, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we on live here, RC9 interviews with Supermodel Miguel Perdomo, aka the real MP 23 on Instagram. So you basically were doing all the groundwork by yourself. You was getting these deals, getting these contracts on your own without an agent. Like
without a lawyer too.
You said without a lawyer, so you was handling your handle. You was on your grind for real. So now you went through all the trenches. You went through the trials, the humps, the hurdles, and everything. So now at this point in your life, still being consistent in your career, reinvented yourself. Doors opened up. You with Wilhelmina, you started the whole big and tall division over there.
Mm-hmm.
You started that. So now you're a family man. Now you have a child.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's a whole nother transition. We transitioned again. Now you're reinventing yourself again into a new phase. So how is that now? Doing at the level you're operating, at the speed you're going, how was that transition into fatherhood?
I mean, the transition part to a father wasn't hard, man. Because again, I grew up, we was so deep in my house, so it's kind of like I already knew. What's up, Hamza? I already knew what it was, like to be a father. I seen my brother do it, and I seen my father do it. My older siblings, they always been great fathers and great parents to their kids. So I'm like, for me, that was always easy. That's not the hard part. The hard part with me was the time, because like I'm always like on the road, on the plane. That's and then that's how you spell love with kids. Time. It ain't. It ain't you buying them gifts, and none of that shit means anything. Time is more important than anything else.
Wow. And so it takes us back to the grassroots, not only your formality career, just take you back to home training, home life, and how you've seen that family bond and unity, and how your folks had to do what they had to do to make sure y'all had, and just keeping that tight knit. So you transfer that. You never forgot that, because that's what made you who you are.
I understand this. My mom worked as a pizzeria worker. She worked at this piece of place called Tree Tavern back in the day. So she worked at a factory. She was literally she was working in the package department. So I never, like me seeing that hustle in her, and she wanted to quit that shit. I already know a million times, but the fact that she was buying me Jordans at that time, and Jordans,
really?
I had every Jordan, bro. That's why I never gave my parents shit. Like like they always kept me laced. Of course I was mad here and there when they wouldn't come to my baseball games, stuff like that. But then all my friends, all their parents became my parents because they was cheering for all of us as a team. Right. So it was like I didn't care no more. But my brothers, they all taught me everything I needed to learn, man. Like they always kept me going. I've never been that guy to get off into the deep end. Like I've never been that guy. I never tried weed. I never tried none of that because my brothers used to tell me all the time, like, yo, fuck you up if you try any of that shit. Wow. And then it's funny because I was watching these guys on a block, and then I was seeing them at night, they bagging up, and like it was weird, man. It was very weird.
Wow. So I mean, we was well. I mean, even though you can hold your own, you was well protected. People, made sure, they knew you were different. They knew you were different. It was like you were a light for your family. You were a light for your community, and people made sure that no, you can't touch this one because he's somebody special. He's doing things. You helped open the door for others, and the door mentally is spreading the horizons, and everything else.
I My brother will say, "Were you acting up?" Nah, I wasn't acting up at all. I didn't even have time to be honest, because my brothers would be getting my ass if I did. I was like, nah.
He said he held accountable by too many people to be acting up.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. June, Jonathan, they were all always be on top of my ass. You don't do this, don't do that. And I'm like, yeah. Look, my girl Letty know. What's up, Letty? I've always been like, always like next to my brothers. I've never really been a distant guy. Just only reason I'm distant is because I've been working. Like, when I'm on plane and I'm on another country. But other than that, when I come back, I'm a dumb. Everybody that know me knows I'm always with my brothers. I don't really be with 100 dudes. I don't do that. That's not my.
Yeah, and that's what's up, man. Keeping the family ties. Really.
Always.
Something I was want to talk to. I know you recently, like maybe it was about 2 years ago or so, or 3 years ago. You started doing some. I started seeing you doing some painting and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Drawing. Talk about that.
Yeah.
You an artist?
Yeah. I mean, I'm an artist when I'm inspired, because I'm not like my boy DeMarcus. If you don't follow him, I always post his paintings up. My boy DeMarcus is a real painter because he wakes up and paint. He sleeps painting. Thinks about paintings. He's always texting me like, "Yo, what do you think about this? Let me get your input on this color scheme or whatever." And I give him my input. But he's a painter. Like he grew up like that's what he wanted to do as a kid. I didn't want to paint as a kid. I just learned shit, through kicks. In high school, I was always one of those graffiti dudes tagging out people's lockers and shit like that. That was me. And people always wanted to be like, "Yo, can you do my notebook?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I draw their notebook. All the girls always come up to me, "Yo, can you do my notebook to put my name and bubbles?" I was like, "All right, cool." And then me practicing every day, I got better and better and better at it. And then I became a graffiti head.
Wow.
But I was
like the other hidden talents in there.
Yeah, but I'm not a graffiti guy like real. Like I know real graffiti guys. Like, hit up walls. I'm not really I'm more of a throw up guy. Throw ups is like I could do your notebook. I could do like a door. I could do a couple canvas. Other guys that I know, like they masters at that shit, and I can never take credit because that's pretty much discrediting them for all the years that they put in. And you know what I'm saying? That's like somebody coming new and saying I'm a supermodel and you ain't got no stripes.
Right.
And then pretty much making my job look like it's like you minimizing it. Doesn't work that way.
Wow. So
never.
Wow. So was painting like, even though you don't put yourself on their level, but was that like a form of release for you, or just something that
Yeah, like I did this joint right here. This is for my son. I did that one.
That Daffy Duck right there.
Yeah, like I stuff when I get inspired. I can't do got that Mickey Mouse back there.
Okay. So
I do things when I'm inspired. I'm not like I want to say I'm a painter. I'm just like one of those guys that naturally it just comes to me. Like I think about it. I'm like, all right, and I make it, and then that's it. But I can't remake it. That's one thing I suck at. If I make a painting, I can't remake the same painting.
Right. Oh, that's real art right there. Come right from the soul, and whatever goes in that canvas is just what it is.
Yeah, and I'm not like, and at the same time, I don't like remaking the same painting. I hate doing it. I just rather be one to one. That's it, and then I'll make something new.
Right. Now, are you starting up your own brand? I know you're rocking your own hat right there, the MP.
Oh yeah.
I seen the varsity jackets you made and everything.
Oh yeah, thanks. Now the thing is with me, I got tired of wearing everybody else's things, so I'm like, let me just do my own thing. And of course, I came up with my own concept and logo. But my boy Tim, that worked at Sean John, he's like one of the illest graphic designers I've ever met in my life. When I tell you, insanely, he's sick. Like work wise, this kid is no joke. So I gave him my logo on a napkin. And I was like, make this into a reality, to a real logo. He was like, what is this? I was like, it's a Rolex crown. He was like, why a Rolex? I was like, that's my favorite watch. You should know that. And he was like, yeah, you're right. I forgot, whatever. So he learned that. And then these letters, he gave me like, I don't know, like maybe 100 different variations of this. This is the one that stuck out of all of them. And mine, the other ones are dope as fuck too. But it's like, they didn't gravitate to me. They didn't pull me in. So this one did. I was like, yo, this is the one right here.
Wow.
And I saw it on the hat. like, you know, and because they had a production company back then, so we did a sample, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And then it's been with me ever since.
Wow. So you doing your own brand. So you took this fashion, all the fashion you were rocking for everybody. You said, you know what? Let me get my own. Let me rock my own stuff.
Yeah, and that's another thing too that I tell people all the time. Like they be like, yo, I wish they made this jacket and this. I was like, you can just make it your own. They look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what you mean? I was like, yo, I was like, don't be lazy, man. If you want to get something done, get it done.
Right.
I've always been like that.
So right now, your varsity, your jackets is it something you just wearing for yourself, or are you like actually selling it for, you know?
No, yeah, I wear it for myself, but occasionally, like, you know, my brothers will be like, yo, you know, can you make me one? I'm like, all right, I'll make it. But it's not one of those things where I want to push a line out, this and the third.
Okay.
But for some reason, everybody's like, you know, telling me, yo, make the line. Because, you know, they've been seeing pieces here and there, like you just said. Like I'll do varsity here. I'll do a jacket here and there. And my boy Jason that was here earlier, I gave him a jacket. We used to work together at this old folks home. I worked there for like 7 years. And that was one of my favorite jobs because I was working with old people, but at the same time, real life values of when you get older. So it's kind of like I learned a lot of life gems. And my boy Jay got a jacket, and my boy Arthur. But it's like, again, I wasn't pushing the line out. I was just making certain pieces just to see, you know, just to curb my creativity. It's like just to keep me going and keep me working mentally. So now I did a trench coat. I did a bunch of things now that I haven't showcased yet. But in the wintertime, I'll bring it out.
And he's going to bring it out.
I'll bring it out. I'm going to start dropping jackets here and there. And it's also more so, I got tired of like going, like Kith, for instance, I love that brand. You know, I love everybody up there. They're cool, great people. But I got mad because I went up there, I went to the store, I tried a jacket on, and then the jacket was like $900 when I know that jacket is like $300. Wow. So I'm like, shit, these guys they overselling. Right. $400-500, that's a good price. Right. But, you know, I went to the same person that they bought the coat from. So that's what I always do. I always find out the information. Right, where is this coat from? Because it's not from you. Obviously, you're just putting your name on it.
Right.
Or just somebody you bought it from prior. Right. So I'll go to that prior person. I'll cut the middleman down and I'll do my own. And then I was like, this jacket was $250. They put a K on the patch and they're selling it for $900. That's crazy. They got like money. They get money. $700 margin they got. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was crazy to me. I was like, yo, this is insane. They're making $700 off a $250 jacket. I was like, that's fucking nuts. So then that's one of those things where I'm just like, I just rather do my own thing because the same way you outsource, I'm gonna outsource too. Right.
Absolutely. So now that brings me to like, how do you feel about right now? Like I said, you've seen the transition in the fashion industry from your level, even from the lower level. Nowadays, with the social media, a lot more people are coming out with their own product. Whether I don't care if it's skincare, I don't care if it's sometimes cosmetics, I don't care if it's clothing line. So it's keeping in line with the threads clothing line. What do you feel about the upcoming designers? Those who are really putting on and really come out with some dope stuff. I'm talking about not only clothes. People come out with sneakers and hats and all kinds of stuff.
Personally, I'm not one of those guys. Like I shy away from Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and all that because to me that's just country. That's for people who can't dress. And no disrespect to me. What you like, that's all good. But I've always been more into the thrift store shopping. Like I could kill you with a thrift store outfit as opposed to you walking up with a Gucci shirt or whatever, you know. But everybody's different. I'm in fashion. Like I know fashion for real. Right.
He said for real.
Like Sean John and like all those brands, like the style is there. They taught me how to like put pieces together and don't really rely on names. And I never cared for names. If it wasn't for them, trust me, I'd be like everybody else too. I'd let me go get a Gucci belt and wear my jeans down so you could see my belt. Like that's all corny to me. That's a little which is fine, which is cool. You know, you have to go through that to grow. So right. I'm not knocking it, but right. At that level where I'm like, all right, I don't wear none of that crap. I don't like that. Gucci and Louis Vuitton, to me being in fashion has always been a luxury brand for like you know, bags. For women, it's great. You know, for
Right.
person, that's amazing. For luggages, of course, but that's it. It don't. For me, it doesn't pass that. Like it's there.
Wow. So wow. So like you said, you learned a lot over the years, and I know you have a lot to instill into those who are still up and coming. Do you ever think about, you know, maybe like 10 years from now, starting up a mentorship program for up and coming models, or just people who are coming from urban areas? And,
I always think all the time because I also I'm gonna start a program with my friend, my boy TJ Best in Patterson, where we show kids how to like dress properly for like job interviews, you know, stuff like that. Because a lot of these kids, man, they be coming into the into our like I see them in the streets, and a lot of them that come in for a job interview, and I see them coming in. I'm like, yo, you sagging your pants, man? You coming here for a job interview, bro? Like the not, you know, properly.
Right.
I don't know. It's just some misconception of them rebelling against the corporate, you know, the corporate.
Right.
I get that, but I always tell people you need this job to pay for whatever you're trying to do. I was like, that's what people don't understand. Like if you're a creative person, you need a 9 to 5 to pay for your side hustle. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't get that. They think, oh no, I wasn't born to have a 9 to 5. At some point in your life, you're gonna work a 9 to 5.
Right.
You just gotta think like, all right, I need this job to pay my bills so I can focus on my side hustle and make that. You know, obviously, that's gonna be in the bigger you know, the bigger scheme. That's gonna be your thing, but people don't think about it like that. People think that, oh, I got to take a step back. Sometimes you got to take 10 steps back to get to that one jump that's going to get you over.
Right.
People don't get that, man. It's kind of like they feel in their spirit like I'm not a 9 to 5 type of person. I'm like, that's bullshit. Everybody is.
Right. And then you know, how do you feel about like multiple streams of income? I know, you know, like you said,
You have to have multiple streams of income. You think every billionaire has one? Hell no. Like you see, like Bill Gates got like 20 multiple streams.
They got coming in.
Yeah, you gotta. There's no way one thing is gonna make you money. Every millionaire tell you that they got like at least 9, 10 streams, you know, revenue coming in.
Wow.
And,
so I guess
you're not making money until you buy something that's making money for you.
Right.
Till then, it's like understand too that I learned from a lot of skilled gentlemen that have, you know, pretty flourishing businesses. They tell me all the time, if you can't buy certain, like let's say if you want this car, if you can't buy this car 4 times, you can't afford it. But then you got people in the hood that, you know, oh, fuck it. They live in an apartment, let me go get this Benz, let me go get this BMW, and they're already moving backward.
Right.
And then you got to create the generational wealth for your family. Right. You're pretty much, when you're giving all these companies all this money monthly for a car that depreciates the minute you take that shit off the lot. That shit makes no sense.
It don't, and you're right, because I've gone into that trap many times.
The thing is, it's because in the hood, everybody has that mindset of, oh, if they see me in this car, I'm doing better than you, or I'm doing good. Nah, man. I know dudes that, well, back then I knew dudes that was driving Benzes that couldn't even put gas in their shit.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I'm like, why
so
you?
The multiple streams of income is important, like having your priorities and not trying to keep up with the Joneses.
No, yeah, you gotta, and that's another thing that you can't live outside your means, but people tend to push that envelope all the time. You see dudes all the time like, yo, dude, you live with your mom and you driving this type of car. That's if you live with your mom, that's a blessing, man. Save all that money. Get yourself an LLC.
Right.
Like, and then when you buy your house, put that shit on the LLC. But kids don't learn that. Like, you know, they don't know none of that.
Wow. You gotta think smart. He said, I'm out here thinking smart.
It took me years to learn, you know, because obviously I was also lazy to read. You know what I'm saying? Like that's everybody's fault. If you're not reading, because you're misinformed, you know. And whatever people post on Instagram, that's what you're gonna repost, and you think that's what it is.
Right. You got scrutinize what you're reposting, what you're listening to. What are you taking in, and how's that shaping your mind and the way you view life? Yeah,
exactly. Right. You know, these kids they don't have no guidance, so it's like it's
right. And that's why it's so important. That's why I asked you about, you know, mentorship programs. You know, you see yourself running one of those.
Yeah,
There's
I definitely want to do
a lot
that.
of misguided people out here.
I definitely want to do that, man. Because I mean, if again, I'm built on the Nipsey Hussle format. Like that's my thing. Like I've always been the same way he is. I'm the same way. The only thing is that he got to his destination faster than I did. It took me a longer time, but when I get there, it's gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna uplift the people. That's all I care about.
Right. And I know you're going to get there, and I know you're going to achieve everything that you set out to do. And I'm thinking about it, you're a family man now, so you have a seed, and I know that everything you have learned, I can only imagine with the wealth of information you're going to pour into your own.
No, I do, but and at the same time, it's frustrating because, you know, he's 2.5. He's only been on this planet 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I want to mold him, but it's like right now I can't. I got to do all the baby stuff, you know.
Right. He's like, come on.
You know, and me, I'm like on some old green light shit. Like, come on, let's go. But I understand I got to slow down. And at the same time, if I speed him up, I'm going to get older. So I was like, you know what, let me just take my time.
Let's slow down a little bit.
Because he's my world, man. There's nothing that kid won't ask for I won't do. Like, it doesn't matter what it is.
Wow. Respect to the fathers really holding it down out there, man. Respect to you holding it. Now, how has becoming a father changed you?
I mean, it really didn't change too much because I've always been the same guy, just more.
Or enhanced you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it definitely enhanced my mindset now because now I'm hustling for him. It ain't even for me no more. Right. For me now, personally, it's not about me anymore. Now it's about him, and I gotta like build something for him. So when I move on, when I pass on, I have something to give him. I'm not trying to give him bills and none of that crap. I'm just like, all right, listen, this is my company. Everything is under your name. So when I die, this is all yours.
Wow. That's good. Legacy. You know, it's always about legacy and leaving something behind for the generations coming up behind us. You know, like that we talked about before, passing that baton.
Yeah, because again,
sure we pass that baton to give it's firm playing in their hand. Like you got to run with this thing. You know, the sacrifice, blood, tears, and sweat. You gonna run with this thing.
You got to understand that your parents and my parents, they grew up in a different era. You know what I'm saying? Their era was the working era, the family. That was the most important thing. And then I'm grateful for my mom and my dad because they sacrificed their own dreams to put all of us on. You know what I'm saying? So I always told Mom, anytime she needed anything from me, I'll never hesitate to be like, here, Mom, take this, hold that, that's all yours, whatever. I have to, man, because they done sacrifice their own dreams, and that's hard. Imagine yourself now, if you have a kid and you got to sacrifice your own dreams in order for your kid to move forward. Like, it's hard, man.
And I look at that. I was just having a conversation the other day with my girl. I said, man, I think about my parents. My parents got married young. They got married at 18 and 21. They had me at the same age. And I'm thinking about they grew up together. That's their whole lives. Like,
man. It's like, you know, we don't see that no more.
Right. I'm like, you really you have to give respect to them because they gave their life literally for me.
I'm telling you. I mean, I had these deep conversations with my mom all the time. I'm like, what you want to do when you was younger, but when we wasn't a thought in your mind. She's like, oh, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be this. And I'm like, wow, like you gave up all that for us? That's crazy. You know, me now, I'm like, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have to give up my dream for my son, I will.
Wow.
Cold-hearted. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Wholeheartedly, I'll be like, all right, fuck it. It is what it is. Because he's the most important thing in my life, period.
It's like you hit a whole nother
not a thing. I'm sorry. He's the most important person. I'm sorry.
Right.
Thing, like,
he's not a thing either. Right.
Yeah, he's the most important piece of my life. Like, it ain't even... And it's funny because I think back now, I'm like, yo, my life was whack, yo, because I ain't have a son before. not whack, but, you know, not in that instance. But it was kind of like, what the fuck were you doing prior to this kid? You know what I'm saying? You start to question yourself. Like, it's crazy to me, man.
So now you had that real substance. You have substance like
man.
Your son completes you.
Mm-hmm. So you know, my brother used to always tell me when you have a kid, man, you're gonna see. Because my older brother he had a kid way before me. So obviously he had a kid, I think like at 16, 17, something like that. And he used to always tell me, yo, that's gonna make you work harder, and hustle harder. And I used to be like, yeah, whatever. That just looked like a big ass bill that I don't want. But that's when I was younger. That was my mindset. But I didn't look at it like this is an actual person, because I was young and I was stupid. But then as I got older, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, you got to take care of this person you don't even know. You
wow.
gotta, like, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in as a kid. Now, as an adult, I'm like, it's easy for me. Like, it's easy. Like, now, hopefully in another year, I'll give him my sibling because I don't want him to grow up by himself either.
Right. Wow. So that's important. You drop some things like life is different. The whole perspective of life has changed. You have your son. You grinding not only for you, you grinding for your son. You grinding for your seeds and those who come after him. So now, real quick, I got two last questions. I'm not going to hold you too much longer.
Okay.
This current day and age with the whole pandemic going on, how is it affecting how you move and being booked and moving forward?
I mean, it's affecting a lot because majority of my jobs are in New York, so New York is shut down right now. We moving into stage 4, which is okay, but then it's kind of like you still got to be very cautious now. You can't really. I used to rely on public transportation before. Now I just got to drive in the city. Mm-hmm. Thank God that they letting like a lot of the meters thing go. Like you could just park and that's no problem.
Right.
Before I'm like, I wish they had that before. Cause shit, I used to be $50 for a day. I'm like, this is crazy. But thank God. I mean, at least things are opening back up now.
Right.
I'm grateful regardless. And
right. You said you're still a hustler at the end of the day. You still gonna make it happen.
Once everything gets back to somewhat normal, whatever normal is, then I'm gonna get on some more different hustle.
Right. He said his mindset is different. This pandemic has opened up a lot of people's minds. A lot of people started business. A lot of people on a whole different grind because they see how, like we were talking about before, like it's your job, you're 9 to 5, you ain't nothing but a number. They can get rid of you and replace you just as quickly as you came in. I want to touch on this one more question. How do you feel about what's going on with this whole Black Lives Matter, this movement, and all the tension that's been happening since we were in this whole quarantine? What are your views on the progress that's always been important, or the lack of progress?
It's always been important, man. It's just that back then they swept it under the rug a lot. So now that's in the forefront, and it's a conversation that we could definitely have now. And it's funny because a lot of people get uncomfortable with that topic. I'm like, you shouldn't be uncomfortable because this is what's happening for the longest. I was like, now it's just, we got cameras now. Before we didn't have cameras, and then it's more of a situation where America just been lying to us for forever. So it's kind of like they need to rewrite the history books. Black history is history. Period. Right. So it's like when I was in high school, I learned Black history. I didn't learn. I had 4 teachers that was all Black. They all taught us Black history. They never taught us American history, like regular study shit. I didn't learn none of that. It was very different for me. It was very different upbringing. I'm telling you.
Wow.
I had a war veteran that was my social studies teacher. He was like, "Yo, I got a bullet in my leg right now. I was fighting for this goddamn country." He was going crazy on us, and I'm like, I understood though why he was going crazy because he had post-traumatic stress from the wars that he's been in and all that. And he's like, and I got to come back and be a teacher? Like, what the fuck? I fought for this country, all that. But he gave us his perspective on how, America is.
Right.
So
we got a connection here. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I got a phone call. So it was just more of those things where, he taught us very early on, like, what it was.
Okay. Wow. Wow. So it's like it's a whole new world here. Like, you have people, waking up and, a lot of things are coming out and people are more, it seems like a lot of people are more on guard now than before. The tension has increased.
They should have. The thing is, man, we've been facing this, man. In Patterson, we seen it a lot, man. One of my boys died at 15. A cop shot him in the head, and then the cop they just made the case disappear, like nothing happened. Then my boy Quadu, he was on here earlier. That was his brother, his older brother, and ever since that, like we always viewed like cops as, you know, in a negative tone. Like of course I know a lot of cops that are great guys, you know, and it's unfortunate that they in that profession. And right now the way cops are being perceived is not a good thing. But at the same time, you can't really, like, I'm not one of those guys that be like, one person's bad, so everybody's, you know, everybody else is bad. Everybody's not like that. Everybody has different agendas, and everybody has a different thought process. But at the same time, you know, it's kind of like if you rolling with them, you know, you're pretty much down with them, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Like you say, birds of the same feather flock together. You know, guilty by association.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're guilty by association. It's the same thing in gangs. Crips, Bloods is the same thing. Like, you know. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's just that we look at it differently now. And it's crazy because there's a lot of guys that I respect, a lot of cops that are police officers that I know I respect them to death, but just I seen how they took this narrative and they just like, they're not moving with the people. I'm like, you're from this neighborhood, so you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to be, you can't be against us. You know what I'm saying? It's either, you know what I'm saying? You can't, there's not a side to pick. It's either right or wrong, and you're on the wrong side.
Wow.
And I understand that you're a cop and you got to feed your family. It's a profession. I get it. But understand where we coming from. Because you were one of us and then you just graduated into being a police officer and now you don't know us anymore.
Wow.
I don't respect that.
Wow. So it's like you said, it's like, you know, if you're feeling uncomfortable talking about this, there's a total problem. There's a disconnect somewhere. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable addressing this because this affects everybody. I don't care what color, creed, religion, race,
man, of course, man. Minorities, period. I understand this, man, that America's superpower is diversity. That's the only superpower America has. That you got people from all over. Mind you, nobody in America is from America unless you're Native American.
Right.
But it's like, I be telling people all the time, if you're not from here, bro, you're from another country. I was like, pretty much fucking 90% of Americans are not from America.
That's true. That's true.
I was like, we're not from here, man. They took us from a different continent and brought us here to fucking work for free.
Right. Absolutely.
And then you get mad at us when we take what you taught us and flip it on you and make money off it and double back.
Right.
That's why I'm telling you, Nipsey had the whole format to the T.
He had the blueprint. He gave the blueprint. And
that's my favorite. That's been my favorite rapper since he came in 05.
Wow.
And ever since, I've always been, you know, same level as him mindset. Like I've always been in the same mentality.
Wow. So you're on it, Miguel. Definitely, you know, you dropped some gems. You shared your heart. You shared just it's like the pieces of your story in your career. And I just want to thank you for just even give us this opportunity to chop it up and just give the fans a piece of your life.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're a humble dude. You're a private dude, but I know you at the conversations and connection I've had with you that you are more than willing to help the next person out. Because in the time I was trying to do the modeling thing, I said, how do I do this? What do I need to do? And you'll give me tips. And
you still can do it.
Somebody did have a question in here, one from the group before we get off. Ms. Level said, as you get older, is it harder for you to get booked because you're older?
Well, thank God for that. I don't really look crazy old, so I try to keep myself in the gym and fit as much as I can, That's all it is. I'm just trying to keep myself, just maintain, I'm not trying to be Mr. America and have all this six-pack and all that. I don't care for none of that shit. That's easy to get. I just don't care for it.
Okay.
Do
you have a certain workout regimen? Do you eat a certain way?
Yeah, I do calisthenics. I don't really do weights. I don't mess with weights. Like, again, I've been around nothing but hustlers, so there's a lot of jailbirds around me all the time. Mm-hmm. And they all taught me, we do this, we do this. And I pretty much, through the years, I took a lot of jail workouts and made it mine.
Wow.
And I incorporated all of them. And then that's, like, I know how to get ripped fast. I just can't because companies don't like me being all cut up. They want me to be like dad body, so I just stay like that.
They need you to look like the regular guy out here.
Yeah. I can't be looking like some, something that I'm not.
Fabio out here.
It's gonna be hard to sell. It has to be relatable. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these guys that's got the six-pack and muscles. Like when they wear fitted clothes, they look crazy.
Right. Wow. So before we get out of here, Miguel, if you could give like one piece of advice to, you know, I don't care if they are models, either up and coming entrepreneurs, business people. If you could give something, drop a nugget for those who are listening. You dropped a lot of it already, but if you could wrap this up and give a piece of advice to those who are watching, what would you give to help them to advance to the next level and whatever it is that they're pursuing?
I mean, the most cliche one is stay humble. Always got to stay humble. Know where you're from. Don't ever look down on somebody else if you're not helping them up.
Wow.
Always understand that everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different background. So be nice, because you don't know the battles that they're fighting every day on themselves. There's a lot of people that's going through a lot, like by themselves, you know,
right,
without nobody knowing. So you just be nice, because if you say something to somebody and they snap at you, it's because they going through some shit.
Wow.
Just be nice and be kind to people.
Wow, that's a very key one, because with all the mental health issues and, you know, more about mental health going on, that is a nugget right there. And I'll put an exclamation point on that one, what you left. Miguel, once again, brother, thank you for extending your time and
no doubt,
rocking out with us. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful that you came here. I'm very humble. How can people reach out to you if they want to, you know, hit you up, if they possibly want to get in touch with your agency, book or something, or get an interview with you, or do something, because you out in the streets, man.
You hit me up here on Instagram, the Real MP23, on Facebook, Miguel Perdomo. Same thing on Twitter. Same thing on what else, on Snapchat, the Real MP23. I don't even do
Real MP23. Everything. Hashtag Real MP23. Shout out to celebrity photographer Felix Natal Jr. We was just talking about Felix in the first
Flex.
Yeah, we talking about the Don Diva days. So shout out to Felix Natal.
It's my OG right there.
It's the OG. Is it the OG? But Miguel, you know, much blessings to your career and everything that you're going to continue to do, and you know, your level up. Shout out to you and your family. Much love to your family.
Thanks, man.
You know, much blessings your way, and we'll be following up with you, letting you know, see what's going on in your world, man.
Yeah, let me know, man. We here, bro. You already know.
Definitely. So you have a good night, man. God bless.
Take care.
All right, peace.
One.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all heard it here. RC9 interviews live with Miguel Perdomo, the supermodel. Listen, he's the man, the myth, the model. He all around great guy, humble guy. He dropped a lot of nuggets. If you missed the first part, it is on my wall right now. It's up and running. It is live. Want to thank him for his time to rocking out here with us at the RC9 interviews. You know, almost put in 2 hours. He gave a lot of gems. So if you are aspiring a model, up and coming model, or just a professional, want to know more about the industry and what it takes, I advise you to go back and listen to this interview. It was a great time. Until Wednesday, we have a good one coming up, so just tune right on in. Made in Vietnam is going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about, you know, mental health. We're going to be talking about life and domestic violence, and how she overcame those things, and how she's helping other women to do likewise. So tune in with us on Wednesday, same time, same place, RC9 interviews at 9 p.m. And thank you all for coming. God bless you and good night.